Tadej Pogacar's 2025 season will go down as one of the most dominant in cycling history. From his first race to the last, he lifted UAE Team Emirates to a level the sport has rarely seen before. When the team's performance director, Jeroen Swart, compared working with him to coaching Tiger Woods or Roger Federer, it wasn't hyperbole. It was the truth. Pogacar didn't just win races. He redefined what excellence looks like. The year started on home soil at the UAE Tour, where the desert sun shimmered over the peloton and fans filled the roadside waving Emirati and Slovenian flags. For Pogacar, this wasn't just another season opener, it was personal. He attacked Jebel Jais with that familiar effortless power, distancing every rival with ease. A few days later on Jebel Hafit, he sealed both the stage and the overall title. His third UAE Tour victory set the tone for the rest of the year. As he crossed the finish line, he smiled and said, "It's always special to win here. This team, this country, it feels like home." It was clear from that moment that 2025 belonged to him. Next came Strade Bianche, cycling's most cinematic race, winding through Tuscany's gravel roads. Early in the race, Pogacar crashed hard. His rainbow jersey tore open, dust covered his face, and most thought his day was over. But that's not how his story goes. He got back on his bike, found his rhythm, and launched an audacious solo attack. For nearly 80 kilometers, he rode alone through the rolling white roads of Siena, and when he entered the Piazza del Campo, the crowd erupted. It wasn't just a victory, it was defiance. That torn jersey became a symbol of his resilience and dominance. After Italy, he turned to Belgium's cobbles and hills. At the Tour of Flanders, the world watched him dismantle the field. On the brutal Paterberg climb, he danced on the pedals and left everyone behind, riding alone to victory. A week later, he took La Flèche Wallonne with perfect timing on the Mur de Huy. Then, in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, he went even further. Attacking with over 30 kilometers to go, he dropped the entire peloton and finished alone, over a minute clear of his rivals. 3 monuments in a single season, something only legends achieve. By summer, his focus shifted toward the Tour de France, the crown jewel of the sport. But first came the Critérium du Dauphiné, the traditional warm-up. He won 3 stages there, including an uphill sprint over Vingegaard and Evenepoel. When he left France, he looked untouchable. Fans and journalists began whispering that this might be the year he joined cycling's immortals. The Tour de France began in tension. His rivals were ready. Vingegaard, Evenepoel, Roglic, all prepared to dethrone him. But from stage 4, Pogacar made it clear that he was in another world. He attacked on the steep uphill finish and claimed his 100th career win. It wasn't just a number, it was a message. The rest of the race unfolded like a symphony of dominance. Stage after stage, he controlled everything. The breakaways, the mountain climbs, the time trials. Even when his knee began to ache during the 3rd week, he managed the pain, defended the yellow jersey, and crossed the Champs-Élysées as champion for the 4th time. Only Merckx, Anquetil, Hinault, and Froome share that honor. And yet, Pogacar looked like he was just getting started. After the Tour, many expected him to take a break, but instead, he went straight into the World Championships in Kigali, Rwanda. The conditions were brutal: heat, humidity, and high altitude, but that only seemed to make him stronger. As others wilted, Pogacar attacked again and again until no one could follow. He claimed his 2nd consecutive rainbow jersey, becoming the first rider in decades to win the Tour de France and World Championships in the same season. A week later, he did it again, this time at the European Championships in France, attacking 75 kilometers from the finish to win solo. 2 jerseys in 2 weeks. It was the kind of dominance fans used to read about in history books. When the autumn leaves began to fall, Pogacar still wasn't done. He returned to Italy for Tre Valli Varesine and won after a fearless attack with 20 kilometers to go. Then came Il Lombardia, the race that now feels like his personal domain. For the 5th consecutive year, he crossed the finish line first, arms raised 2 minutes ahead of Remco Evenepoel. That made him the only rider in history to win 5 straight Lombardias, surpassing Fausto Coppi's legendary record. His words at the line said it all. It's surreal. This race feels like home. By the end of the season, UAE Team Emirates had 95 victories, an all-time record for a cycling team. Pogacar himself accounted for 20 of them. The team wasn't just a support system. It had become a dynasty. Riders like Juan Ayuso, Juan Almeida, and Isaac Del Toro credited him for creating a culture of belief. Team boss Mauro Gianetti called it the Pogi effect. "When Tadej is around," he said, "everyone rides better. Everyone believes more." What separates Pogačar from the rest isn't just his results, but his personality. He's modest, funny, and unfailingly kind. After every race, he thanks his teammates before taking credit himself. He cracks jokes in press conferences and signs autographs for kids long after interviews end. Inside the peloton, he's respected not just as a champion, but as a human being. Rivals like Vingegaard and Evenepoel have both said that racing against him makes them better. Performance director Jeroen Swart explained it best. "Working with Tadej is like working with Federer or Tiger Woods," he said. "It happens once in a generation. You don't teach him, you learn from him." That comparison resonated because it's true. Like Federer, Pogačar makes greatness look effortless. Like Woods, he lifts everyone around him. And like both, he's changed how we understand the limits of sport. Off the bike, Pogačar remains grounded. He spends his downtime in Monaco with his fiancée, fellow pro cyclist Urska Zigart, and still rides local group rides just for fun. "I just love being on the bike," he once said. "When it stops being fun, that's when I'll stop racing. But right now, I still love every second." That simple love of riding is what keeps him so dangerous. He's not chasing numbers or fame. He's chasing the joy of competition. At just 27 years old, he's already among the greatest of all time. 4 Tours de France, 3 monuments in one season, 2 consecutive world championships, and over 100 career victories. Yet, he still rides with the hunger of a rookie. For 2026, his goals are already set. Milano-San Remo and Paris-Roubaix, the only monuments missing from his collection. If he wins them, he'll become the first rider since Eddy Merckx to conquer all 5. Every generation has its defining athlete, someone who transcends their sport. For this era, that figure is Tadej Pogačar. He doesn't just win, he inspires. His attacks are poetry in motion, his humility is disarming, and his joy is contagious. He's made cycling not just about numbers and tactics again, but about passion and beauty. As 2025 ended, UAE Team Emirates celebrated their historic year with quiet pride. 20 riders contributed wins, but in every smile, every toast, one name echoed the loudest: Pogi. He wasn't just the team's leader, he was its heart. Looking back, it's hard to believe how much one rider can change the landscape of an entire sport. Tadej Pogačar has done it not through arrogance, but through authenticity. He reminds the world that greatness and kindness can coexist, that dominance doesn't have to mean ego, and that cycling, at its core, is still a simple game of man, machine. And heart, Tadej Pogačar lifted UAE Team Emirates to new heights in 2025. But more than that, he lifted cycling itself, reminding everyone why we fell in love with the sport in the first place.